From the 19th century onwards, with the Industrial Revolution, the growth rate rose to 0.66%. At that rate, to double the GDP per capita, growth would have to take 107 years. Now, if we look at the period between 1900 and 1950, the growth rate accelerated to 1.66% annually. We no longer needed 107 years to double the GDP per capita, but 66. And if we look at the period between 1950 and the year 2000, we see that the growth rate was 2.1% annually, which would mean that in just 33 years we could double the GDP per capita of the world. This trend, far from stopping, is still alive today. If we take the period between 2000 and 2023, the growth rate accelerated again to 3% annually, which implies that we could double our GDP per capita worldwide in just 23 years. Now, when we study GDP per capita from 1800 to today, what we see is that, after the Industrial Revolution, the world's GDP per capita multiplied by more than 15 times, generating an explosion of wealth that lifted 90% of the world's population out of poverty. We must never forget that, by 1800 nearly 95% of the world's population lived in extreme poverty, while that number fell to 5% by 2020, prior to the pandemic. The conclusion is obvious. Far from being the cause of our problems, free enterprise capitalism, as an economic system, is the only tool we have to end hunger, poverty and destitution across the entire planet. The empirical evidence is unquestionable. Therefore, as there is no doubt that free market capitalism is superior, in productive terms, the leftist doxa has attacked capitalism for its questions of morality, for being, according to them, say its detractors, that it is unfair. They say that capitalism is bad because it is individualistic and that collectivism is good because it is altruistic towards others. Consequently, they strive for social justice, but this concept, which has become fashionable in recent times in the First World, has been a constant in political discourse in my country for more than 80 years. The problem is that social justice is not just, but it does not contribute to general well-being either. On the contrary, it is an intrinsically unjust idea because it is violent. It is unjust because the state is financed through taxes and taxes are collected in a coercive manner. Can any of us say that we pay taxes voluntarily?